Hey, it's Rick with the Rock Bottom Outreach. It's Real Talk Tuesday. My favorite show is Family Feud. I love, especially Steve Harvey. It absolutely cracks me up. And if you don't know much about the show, I'll tell you. I mean, just kind of the start around. Two people stand there with the hand behind their back, one on the button. They're asked a question. If they give the best answer and they hit the little buzzer and they're called on, then they continue into the round. If you give a bad answer, then it goes and it gives you an X, and three strikes you're out essentially. But you ever feel like that? Do you ever feel like you're on the spot and just say the right thing? I mean, you've got to say the right thing or you're doomed. And I think that's true, especially when your wife puts on a dress and she said, "Does this make me look fat?" I mean, that's a tough one right there. So you need to be careful how you respond to that. I'm just telling you, men. But this is a very serious real talk, and I will tell you why. All of them are, but really not many chuckles, and I'm going to get right down to it. On Friday night, I went to, it was Friday or Saturday, I went to Walmart. I had a picture blown up that just kind of turned out cool with the clouds in the back. And I was visiting with a young lady that worked there, and a real sweet girl. I mean, very, very nice girl. Probably around 20 or 21. And so when I went to pay for the picture, she said, "Well, that's a cool picture." And I said, "Yeah, I mean, you can kind of tell that, it was orchestrated by someone, in the background, obviously not by us." And she did this. She goes, and so I asked her. I mean, I just, that was it. That was the question. I'm going to ask a question, and it was this: do you know Jesus? I mean, I asked her just like that. I said, "Do you know Jesus Christ?" And I was cool. I was real friendly. And she looked right at me. She said, "I'm an atheist." And I said, "Well, we have free will to make a choice of what we believe." And so here's what I'm telling you right now is the way I responded to her response to me could either drive her maybe to the cross to ask more questions or completely blow the whole thing. And, I began to talk to her a little bit more. I didn't say, the Bible says this or this. I didn't say, "Oh my God, you're going to hell. I can't believe you're an atheist." But she said this. She said, "Well, I go with my sisters sometimes to worship. And I think it's cool watching people turn their life around." And I said, "That's what happened to me. And I give all the glory to Jesus Christ." I said, "That's me." But what it told me is you had someone searching. And then she told me this. She said that most people call her a hypocrite for saying she's an atheist and yet she's going to worship. Again, that's someone searching for answers. And so here's an opportunity to be Jesus. And again, if you pride yourself on being hard and in people's face, that's not like Jesus. I mean, and you're really not going to reach anyone. You might scare someone, but you're not going to lead them to the cross and say, "Here's a great opportunity," and to share with this young lady. And she said, man, that people scream at her and they attack her verbally when she says she's an atheist. Again, man, it's like the Family Feud. Best answer, what do you got at that time? And so, are you prepared? How would you respond in that situation? Well, anyway, man, I gave her the traditional, "Hey, man, I dig you." And I gave her a bam up top. Hey, a bam. And I said, "Man, a great reason to come back to Walmart is to see you." And she laughed. And well, I went by yesterday, and who did I see? My little friend. And I gave her a little bam and said, "What's up?" And it was all good. But anyway, the day got a little serious. I got a message from a former athlete of mine that I go way back, and one of our former Keller Indians is in critical condition. I knew him and his brother well, and the family critical condition at Harris. And so I made a trip down there late after work. And I walk in, and it is just, I'm going to tell you right now, it's not a sight that you want to see. Someone on a ventilator, a young person like that, and two helpless parents. And so the question is this: what do you say to them? What do you say to two parents that are looking for a miracle? And that's the hard part of Rock Bottom Outreach and what we do. And let me tell you now, sometimes being Jesus is to say nothing at all. The best thing you can say is nothing at all. Just being present. We've talked about that. Just to listen. Because understand, that's exactly what Jesus would do. He would listen to someone and he would mourn with them. He'd weep with them. He'd pray with them. And at the time, man, that's all you can do. And I'm telling you, man, it's heart-wrenching. At the end, we held hands, and I held this young man's hand, and we prayed for a miracle, whatever that may look like. And I'm asking you to be in prayer. His name is Alan. This is his first name. That's all that needs to be said, and we'll keep you posted. But my question is this: If you were asked that question, you're in that situation, how would you respond? If you have an opportunity to be Jesus, lead someone to Jesus, or drive them away, which one is more fitting to you and your nature? Because my prayer for you is that you become more like Jesus and less like John Wayne. Hey, it's Rick with Rock Bottom Outreach. It's been Real Talk Tuesday. Bam.